Good evening and welcome to Investigative Selling. Tonight's topic, I felt because of what's going on and what's about to happen for the next 2 years with the economy and what I've been reading, whether it's real estate or mortgages or sales or any kind of sales, I think it's important that we sharpen our tools, sharpen our skills in sales. So tonight's topic will be a little longer, but I promise you that you'll get a lot out of it. I mean, the moment I finish, you should be able to go out and get and make money with the tools I'm sharing with you. So it's going to be really great. So get ready. And if you want to take notes, go ahead. But again, we are recording this for you. We will be sending it to you in a few days for your enjoyment. So tonight's topic is Investigative Selling, my best-selling book. Now, earlier, some of you saw me a couple of weeks ago. I told you the story how investigative selling came to be. What happened was I was the #1 salesperson in the country in health and fitness. And I started buying health clubs and building health clubs. And I thought people would be so excited to learn from me because I was the #1 salesperson in the country. And they weren't, because I was thinking that, they would be excited, but I wasn't thinking about how they would learn to do it. So my thinking changed, and I thought, what would be the best way that I could teach them what I learned from my mentors? And I thought of like Murder, She Wrote. I thought of Columbo. I thought of Madlock. I thought of, all the great investigators, Pink Panther, and I thought, what would be a great way? So I came up with the investigative method because I studied opera. And in the opera, you learn to not only get into character, but you also learn to you put the costume, you get into character. The sets are beautiful, and then you become the part. You have to become that person. So I thought, what would be the best character for all of us when we're having a bad day to get into a method of sales? And so I came up with the investigator. What do investigators do? Well, investigators first, they go to the crime scene. So you got to leave your house. Now, some of you have online businesses. I get that, but you're still going to have to get some work done on that. Then when you go and talk to people, you have to be able to ask questions, right? And gather information, gather the data. And then you have to be able to take the information, bring it home, do your due diligence, come back with a solution, close the case, the sale, and get referrals, right? Find out more about it. So that's what the investigative method is. So this is from my book and the audio that all of you have. I'm not selling you anything right now. So Investigative Selling, you all have it. So make sure you go through it, print up the PDF, and then take your product or service and go along with it. So, and by the way, we've done research that if you listen to my training one time, you only retain 6%. But if you listen to it 6 times, you retain 62%. So, I went through it 100 times. I went over my own stuff the last week before I went to New York to speak, because I like to listen to the program I'm going to be teaching, and I listen to it myself. So, I really, the book, it's in the top 5 of all sales organizations around the world. So we're about to embark in it. Let's get into it. Okay. So the first key is got to be fired up. As I tell everybody, people don't buy from dead people. So you got to be fired up, right? So anyone that doesn't wake up fired up, you got to get up and tell yourself, how do I get fired up? It's a philosophy, guys. It's a mindset. So what I do, I'll tell you what I do. I get up with an attitude of gratitude. No matter what's going on in my life, I thank God, or whatever you think, but I thank God for the blessings of health, happiness, and, being spiritual health, happiness. The last thing is wealth for me. Money, as long as you have your health, everything else can be worked out. So no matter where you are, think about an attitude of gratitude when you wake up. And I sit up in the bed or I lay there and I go, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. And then I get up If I'm real enthusiastic, I'll clap my hands, you know, but I do things that abnormal people do. I'm abnormal. I'm above the norm because I want to be better at getting better. So for me, I challenge myself every day to push myself. Like today, as you know, I am the master trainer for the masterminds for Napoleon Hill Foundation. I do it every year in Las Vegas, and I am one of the teachers that teaches the Think and Grow Rich foundational book and audios. And I teach the 17 principles. And there's 13 and 17. I teach 17. And so today I listened to the original Napoleon Hill recording. So that was fun for me. So that's good. So let's get into it. The first thing is I want you to think about your year's sales goals. Now, right now we have about 45 days left of the year. So think about what you'd like to do for the next 45 days. As I said, I will be doing a goal setting program next time, but I'm going to do something simple today. So make sure that you set your goals for what you want for the next 45 days and then set your goals for 2024. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm a teacher, guys. I teach to get results. So here we go. You need to look at your business goals and find out how much daily activity you have to do to get how many contacts, to get how many presentations, to get how much closed business, and that gives you your results. I explained to some of you 2 weeks ago that in my health clubs, you had to make 100 phone calls to get 10 appointments, to get 7 people to show up, to make 1 sale if you were new. Now, if you were a veteran, I expected you to make at least 50% of those sales. So whatever you want to make next year, whether let's say it's 120 grand, which is the example I have, you'll have to do these numbers. This would be your numbers in the business. Okay. So the key is to create a funnel. Now, everyone on here, so I try to do the best I could, but everybody here has a different product or service, right? Product or service. So maybe you're using social media. Maybe you're using branding. Maybe you're using flyers. Maybe you're using letters. But this, I put in the top 3, which is telephone skills, telephone funnels, face-to-face funnels, and referrals funnels. And the key is to keep your funnel full. If you keep your funnel full, here's what happens to most people. When they make sales, they have to do the paperwork. They have to do the follow-up. They have to dot the I's, cross the T's. And what happens is you get carried away on that and you forget to keep prospecting. Then your funnel dries up. Now you're in a slump. So I don't want that to happen to you. Make sure you keep feeding your funnel while you're closing sales, which is right there. All right? Just like that. Next, I want you to think about that. Activity is context. Context equals closed sales. Closed sales gets results. But more importantly, you've got to become better. That's why I want you to master investigative selling and all the materials that I've given you. You've got to become better. You've got to become better. And the way you become better is by constantly improving your conversion ratio. And that's called training, right? Training is the best way to get better. Remember, the more you do it, the better you get, because the more you do it, the more you do it, the more you do, the more you make. Now, the key is to do it right. It's called perfect practice. Have you ever seen someone in a gym and they're working out wrong, or running down the street and they're running very weird or awkward, and you're like, oh my God, they're going to hurt themselves? Well, to me, selling and training is perfect practice, not just practice. So learn the materials, pay the price to learn the materials to become great. So why don't people do all this stuff, guys? Well, because the things that hold them back, you need to write this down. You need to become excuse-free, become fearless, become excuse-free and become fearless. What does that mean, Omar? Well, you've got to be able to eat the 7 negatives, the 7 steps to fight negative influences. And here they are. Number 1, expect rejection. In selling, rejection is part of it. Anyone that's selling anything, whether it's online, face-to-face, whatever it is, you are going to get rejection. You're going to get no's. So learn to not take it personal. That's why I wrote down, get the you out of failure. Learn to fail forward faster, right? And remember, when you fall down, a setback, I'm calling them rejection here, but I don't call it rejection. I call it a setback. When you fall down, it's not a setback to prepare you for a comeback. All right. So remember, you got comeback power. Next, change something. If something's not working, let's say you're investing money in a certain way of getting leads, or you're saying a certain phrase in your sales presentation, or you're doing something, make sure you make the adjustment, tweak it, or scrap it and start all over again. Okay. Next, invest in yourself. Listen to, watch, and read motivational learning materials that get your juices flowing. Like music is great. Music can crank you up, right? Next, talk to positive people. Hang around like-minded people. That's why I like doing these events. I like doing seminars. I like going to seminars that are with high-end people, because if you hang out around eagles, you become an eagle, right? So you want to hang around an inspired crowd. Don't wish for it to be easier. Wish for you to become better, right? Most people are like, oh, the economy. You know what? Top producers make money in all economies. So don't give yourself an excuse. Next, manage your mental input. Consciously avoid putting yourself down. Use positive affirmations, self-talk. Don't beat yourself up. Meditation, prayer, whatever works. Listen to me. If it doesn't serve you, don't say it. Don't own it. Don't think it. Does it work every time? No. But the key is to use it as much as possible so you get more results. Let's face it. When you're facing adversity, rejection, or challenges in your personal life, that will slow down your buying power. That will slow you down. So it's very important that you don't do that to yourself. Okay? Very important. Next. Okay. Beware of what you eat. It takes energy to succeed. So make sure that you eat properly. I would recommend Monday through Friday, eat light. Now, if you work 6 days a week, eat light 6 days a week. Eat light, breakfast and lunch. Dinner, can do whatever you want, unless you do financial services, which you work from 4 to 8. All right. So make sure you do that. Next, move your body. Selling is a very draining industry. So it's important that you go for a walk at the end of the day, work out, swim, do something, anything that makes your body move and get your circulation going. All right. So that's the 7 steps to fight negative influences. Let's go on. The key is to increase your activity now. Sales achievers increase their self-image, maintain a positive attitude while handling failure and rejection. And remember, I'm only using failure for this presentation, but I don't call failure failure. I call failure a setback. So remember, put on your no blocker attitude. You know, if you have sun blocker, put on no blockers, no blocker, and develop that attitude. Next, the only time you will learn this material is by going out and talking to people. So go out and take the test to get the lesson. So now we're going to go into some new content. You ready? Creating a funnel. Create a fundamentally sound presentation for closing. Excuse me, where'd that come from? All right, so create a funnel, create a funnel. So here's the funnel, how it works for us. First thing is to build rapport. Build rapport. Now I'm going to cover these for you one by one. Then create an interest statement. I even wrote one for you. So I'm going to cover that for you. Then we gather the information, and I'll show you how to do that. And then we go to benefits, features, results. Then we cover all the details. Then we test close. So let's get right into it. The first and foremost, building rapport. Now, they've done research that when someone meets you, what do you think is the number one thing that wins them over in the first 15 seconds? Well, guess what? Research shows out of 100 people, 7% is product knowledge. So product knowledge in the beginning is not the main way to build rapport, but it will become beneficial when your presentation starts. Number two, voice quality, voice quality, voice quality, the tone of your voice, the way you speak. People like a pleasing voice. Remember, when you're selling, you sell in the lows. Your voice is in the lows. That's why if you watch any of these truck commercials or car commercials, what does a man or woman have? A soothing, low voice, because people buy in the lows, okay? Number three, their approach. So if you're at home and you're doing social media sales or online, you probably won't use this, but quality, voice of your quality, and your approach are the best ways to sell people and win them over. Remember, when two people meet, the first person the person that has the most congruency, the most passion for what they're doing is the person that's going to take over the presentation by asking questions. All right. So let's get into it. So how do you build rapport, Omar? Well, for me, I believe that the best salespeople are consultants. Consultants. You know, people think that the best salespeople are the loud people that are loud and obnoxious. No, they're not. The best salespeople are the consultants. They've done research that teachers, when they convert from teaching to selling, become very good salesperson because they're used to listening and asking questions. So the first thing you need to do is to care about people. Care about what their wants, needs, issues, timeframes, budgets are. So care about people, ask caring questions, right? Next, establish common ground. So if you're online, it's a different world now, guys. So I'm going to cover online sales also. So if you're online with someone, you're talking to them, ask them, how is it where you live? How's the weather? How's your sports team doing? If they have children, how are your kids doing in sports? How's the basketball, baseball? If you see a fish behind them, ask them, oh, I see you enjoy fishing, right? Talk about family. Don't talk about politics or religion. Please stay away from those, because no matter what, if you don't nail it and the person is like-minded like you, then you just lost a customer. So keep it superficial, close to the surface. Next, humor. Clean humor is a great way to build rapport. All of you have seen me use it on stage. So clean humor is a great way to build rapport. Next, adjust your rate of talking and read body language. So make sure you're adjusting your rate of talking and reading body language. What does that mean, Omar? Well, people like themselves. So if you walk in and they're loud and you're soft, you got to raise your voice. If they talk soft, you got to lower your voice. If they talk fast, you got to speed up. And then body language, look at their body language. Are they leaning forward? You lean forward. Are their arms folded? You close your arms. Whatever it takes. Be like them. People like people, just like themselves. Next, strive to make your customers say, me too, me too, me too, me too, not so what. Most presentations go under the so what, because people don't realize that selling is not telling. Selling is asking questions and listening. And what happens is, if most salespeople, their favorite part is presenting because they get to talk. But what they don't understand, if they don't embed commands of questions and listen, they're going to lose their client and customer. So to create a motivating environment for a successful sale, I always tell people, Selling is an emotional process. Sell with passion and emotion. Owning any offering is emotional. So how do you do that? I told you I wrote scripts for you, and I'm going to send this to you. So the first one is the introductory statement. Remember I showed you the little building blocks? Well, the first thing was build rapport. Now we're doing the introductory statement. So I wrote it for you. So if you want, you can even say it with me, but don't unmute yourself because I'm recording this. Okay. So Bill, let me begin by thanking you for speaking with me today. Time is your most valuable asset. I appreciate yours. I view myself more as an expert advisor. I'm here to explore your situation to see how we and then you say your company, can better serve your needs. And that opens up the door. I just wrote your 30-second commercial. It's called the elevator pitch, right? So there it is, and you'll have it in your box in about 3 days. Next, I'm giving you every step. So ask questions that get clients talking about how they got started in the business. People love to talk about how they got started in the business, what a great company they have, what new projects they're working on, what do they see in the new economy, any changes, right? So here's my favorite question, Mrs. Black. I'm so fascinated by your business. Tell me, how did you get started into business? People love to talk about how they got started in their business, okay? What kind of challenges are you facing? You could ask. Mrs. Black, what kind of challenges are you facing? What keeps you up at night? Right? What's the one thing that if I could help you solve with my product or service would help you sleep better or help you with your team or company? Next, what's the most important priority to you with this and why? These are questions. See, what most people don't understand is when you ask questions, you got to drive the question. It's called the pain pleasure principle. In selling, you have to open up, they call it the wound. The wound is the pain. The pain is their problem. We are the solution. Our product or service is the solution. So the person says to me, I'm having problems with I'm just going to use something out of the ordinary, with my software, computers, and you're an IT company, and you say, well, what kind of challenges are you facing? Well, this doesn't work. Sometimes this doesn't work. Sometimes we can't get video on. Great. What's the most important priority to you with this one? Why? And let them talk about it. And then what other issues are important to you? So you're gathering information is what you're doing to sell them. Gathering information, sell them. What would you like to see improved? That's another great one. Here's another one, guys. How do you measure that? How are you going to measure it once you have it? And then, so I hope you guys got those. Next, here's a components of a great presentation, a great message in the beginning. Number one, it's got to have an introduction, a nice introduction, which I gave you. Number two, it's got to be unique. Your introduction, once you go into it, you got to use, listen to me. What is your unique selling proposition? What makes you so special? What is your unique selling proposition? What makes you so special? Then your value statement, which I'm going to give you in the next slide. So get ready. Then keep it short. Don't overdo it. You see my little scripts? They're short and sweet. Why? We want to get them talking. The only way you learn is when your words are in the form of a question. So if I'm doing all the talking, how are you going to talk to me? How am I going to learn about your wants, needs, issues, timeframes, budgets, all of that, right? And then ask for the appointment. Now, this is when you're calling them. When you're there, skip step number 5. So here we go. Properly qualify the customer will eliminate many objections that arise from improper qualification. Qualification is very important in selling. Listen to me. There was a great trainer. His name was J. Douglas Edwards. And he said, questions are the answers. And what he meant was, the better the questions, the better the answers, the more information we gather to make the sale, right? So let's get into it. It's called discovery. So let's get into discovery. I have a question for you. That's discovery, but I'm going to go deeper as I told you I would today. Just one more thing that you can tell me. All right, so let's go into it. The best qualifying questions. This is from my programs, Investigative Selling, which you have. Best qualifying questions by far. What are you doing in this area now? Now, I'm going to do something that none of you are doing. Let's say automobile sales. So past predicts future. If the person drives in with an SUV, they're normally going to buy another SUV, unless they had the little divorce and they want the sports car, right? So you say to them, what are you doing now? What are you driving now in this area? Well, I'm driving an SUV. Well, why do you drive an SUV? Well, geez, Omar, I have 3 kids and they love the space. Okay, so that's what you're driving now. What do you like about what you are doing in this area? Well, I love the space, Omar, as I told you before, and I love the entertainment systems, and I love that. Okay, great. What would you like to alter or change about the SUV? Why are you trading it in? Well, Omar, number one, the warranty's up. So I don't want a car that doesn't have a warranty. Number two, I could really use better mileage. Okay. And number three, the technology for the last 3 years has just gone crazy. So I'd like to have the best technology for my car, my SUV. So now you got 3 things they said they would alter or change, and you have that in your SUV. Next. Is there anyone else involved in making the decision? I want all the decision-making people there. Now, if they're not, you need to structure your presentation to the point that you say so much, but then you say, look, I know that your partner needs to be here to make a decision. So would it be okay if we got them on the phone, or if I got them to, come in later on a later date? So like, remember, if the decision maker is not there, you got to pivot. Say, don't disrespect them. Make sure you give them enough information, but make sure you pivot and say, hey, would it be okay if we got your partner on the phone or on a Zoom? Or would it be okay if we, I'll tell you all about it, we bring them back in? Because see, here's what happens, guys. If they say, no, just give me all the information and I'll tell them about it. That's not going to work, because no one's going to tell your presentation about your product or services as well as you will. So don't let them do that. Make sure that you're in control. Remember, if you don't control the presentation in the beginning, you will never control it at the end. So that's qualifying questions. All right. So I wanted to share with you the best questions, the best words to use, and the questions and words not to use. So these are called nasty words. On the left is the nasty words. On the right are the positive words. So let's talk about this. When you're selling people and you're presenting, never use the word cost, because what do they think of? It costs too much. So use this total investment. It's an investment. Instead of using the word monthly payment, what do they think of when they're sitting down at the desk writing checks or paying online? So don't do that. You use monthly investment. Don't use credit app. Hey, why don't you fill out the credit app? No, use gather information. Don't use contract. No, use paperwork, agreement, form, right? Don't use sign. What do you hear when you hear sign? You hear your parents saying, don't you sign anything, right? So don't use the word sign. You say endorse, okay, approve. Don't use problem. When you say, oh, I'll fix you with that problem, I'll take care of that problem. They're thinking, man, I got a lot of problems. No, you say, I'll help you with that challenge, right? Don't use appointment. What do you think of an appointment? Going to a chiropractor. My brother's one, I can say this. And sitting there, waiting for your turn, going to the doctor, going to the dentist. Don't use appointment. Use, I want to visit or pop by. Visit or pop by. Next, Don't say I've got a presentation for you. What are they thinking? Oh my God, this man or woman's going to take my whole day giving me a presentation. No, you say, I want to stop by and share some ideas with you. See the difference? You don't want to say commission. They don't want you to have one. So don't use the word commission. Just say a fee for service. All right. Don't use the, oh, I love this one. Oh, when people say to me, may I be honest with you? So you've been lying to me the whole time? It's like, no, may I be direct with you? That's a better way to do it. The next one, deal. What have you looked for? A good deal. No, how many times you find a good deal? Not very often. No, you say opportunity. So these are the nasty words and the positive words. The left column is the negative words. The right column is the positive words. Okay. And again, I'm recording this, so keep it quiet, please. And I will take questions at the end, and I will then email this to you on Tuesday. PowerPoint and the recording. All right. So let's get into presentations. What is a presentation? A presentation is simply your opportunity to position yourself and persuade your customers to see, hear, touch, and feel the superiority of your product and service to make the sale. So here's what you must remember. Always remember, selling is not a spectator sport. Selling is an involvement sport. Now, how do we involve them mostly? With questions. We involve them with questions and we listen. Now, if you have a product that they have to use or touch, you can have them involved by doing a demonstration with your product. But if you're selling a service, you mostly have questions, right? So let's talk about how to create a yes momentum, a really wonderful experience for the customer to get you to buy, get them to buy. So the first thing we're going to do is create yes momentum. So in the center, we always stay customer focused, always stay customer focused. So first of all, the key is to point out your features, to then talk about the benefits. That's the evidence. To then talk about results. So I've got some realtors on the call. Let's talk about real estate. Okay. So features. Let's point out some features. So let's say this person came to your neighborhood, your farm area, and you are selling them into they're downsizing. So they're going like from me, 6 bedrooms, 5.5 bath, to 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. All right. And so they sold their home and they're downsizing. And then you show them a beautiful home and you're pointing out the features that they told you they wanted. Like number one, a big yard. So they don't care. The house has got a lot of square foot. They want enough rooms to bring the kids home, but they don't need 6 bedrooms anymore. So they're going to have 3 bedrooms, 2 for their kids when they come home. But they're really interested in a kitchen. And they're really interested because they love to cook. And they're really interested in the backyard because they love to entertain. So I would look at that feature, point it out and say, look, Bill, Mary, this house has an amazing kitchen. It's gas, which, I've heard from all my friends and the chefs that I know that gas is the best way to cook, right? Not electric. So it's got this gas range. By the way, it's a Viking, which is the best, right? So it's a Viking. And by the way, the features is it gas, got six pilots. So you got 6 burners. You got all the things you want. It's got an oven. Obviously, I don't cook, but you can see I'm trying to make my point. So features, you point out the features. Then you go to the benefits of it. The benefits are you'll be able to cook the meals you want. You'll be able to have healthier meals. And of course, I know that you enjoy the taste of it. So that'll be, what does that mean to you? Paint result. What it means is you're going to have your friends, family, dinner parties. You're going to have the kind of meals that you love to cook and share with your friends, family, and neighbors. See? Now, let's point out another feature of the home. The backyard. The backyard. So the backyard is roomy. It's got a beautiful barbecue. It's got a patio area for entertaining. So you talk about the backyard and how it's spacious and it's got electronics and it's got all this stuff. And you're going to be able to enjoy yourself. Point out, and I know, Bill, you love to watch sports. And look at that. My goodness. There's 6 TVs up there all together. So you can watch 6 different sports at once. Isn't that great? And he goes, oh, I love that. I love it. Great. And by the way, it's got the surround sound, the Bose, the best one. Oh my God. It's got outdoor surround sound. Yes. Yes. Oh, so you point out that feature. What's the benefit of that? Oh, well, Omar, I'll be able to have my kids love sports. My daughter's in volleyball. She loves volleyball, so we can watch volleyball together. She can bring her friends. We can watch the multiple games going on. And oh my goodness, it's got this barbecue, so I can cook hamburgers, hot dogs, and that's that. And we'll paint pictures of Bill, I see you here with your daughter and all her friends. And I know your son plays sports. I see them here enjoying a barbecue with you and your spouse and having a good time. That's one of the things that I love about this home. Great. So what am I doing, guys? I'm creating, momentum. So here's the problem that most people do. They throw up on people. They give them 5 features first. Oh, it's got the pool. It's got the big bedroom. It's got the kitchen. It's got the backyard. No. Here's the key to building momentum. One at a time. One at a time. You point out one feature, one benefit, and then results. Paint beautiful pictures. What makes it so special? What makes you so special, right? So that's creating. So the key, you see this diamond? The key is to create this diamond into a ball. So it turns into a wheel and it starts rolling into momentum. The next one, powerful presentations. Develop the investigative instinct. Listen and observe. So let's talk about God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So we listen twice as much as we talk. Remember, the better the questions, the more gathering information. The better the questions, the better the answer. The bigger the question, the better the answer. So to listen to and observe, here's what we're going to do. Number 1, customers will tell you how they want to be sold. All you have to do is listen, listen, listen. So what you have to do is use the questioning techniques I taught you about 15 minutes ago and master those. So then you gather information and listen and write. If you can't take notes or on your laptop and gather the information you need to come back and close a sale. Next, J. Douglas Edwards said questions are the answers. He sold it to Tom Hopkins, and then Tom Hopkins gave me the rights to all his materials in How to Master the Art of Selling. So I tweaked them all, and as anything else, you want to make them better. So the first questioning technique I'd like to teach you, which we're talking about, questions are the answers, right? Is the STP questions. Seek the positives. Now here's an example. These are questions that continuously seek positive responses or yeses from the customer. Always must be placed at the end of the sentence. Watch. Isn't it, doesn't it, wasn't it, couldn't it, wouldn't it, shouldn't it, don't you agree, can't you, don't you, haven't you? So we say, we're all looking for ways to increase bottom line profits, aren't we? What are they going to say? No. Now, this is it's a STP, seek the positive. It's also called a tie down. Now we can use it as an inverted tie down. Let me explain. An inverted tie down is when you take the question and you put it in front of the question. Watch this. Aren't we all looking for ways to increase bottom line profits? They could say yes or no. But if I say we're all looking for ways to increase bottom line profits, aren't we? They're going to say yes. You see the difference? So that's very important, very important. Next, the second questioning technique that I want to teach you is the alternate advance. The alternate advance is a question with 2 answers. Either answer either answer is a minor agreement leading towards a major decision. So basically, it's a question with two answers in it. Either answer is moving it forward either way. So the easiest one to teach you is, will Monday or Tuesday be better for you? Right? And I like the faux you. I'll have to fix that. My marketing team, what the heck? That's pretty funny. Will Monday or Tuesday be better for you? Our mornings or afternoons better for you, right? Our mornings or afternoon better for you. Oh, that's funny. They did that on purpose, I bet, to tease me. All right, the next one. Questions are the answer. This is called an open-ended questions. Now, this is a question that's mostly used by journalists. Journalists are well known for using open-ended questions. So open-ended questions are questions that get people to talk. These types of questions direct the conversation. They are your who, what, when, where, how questions. Open-ended questions are the ones that require a more elaborate explanation from the customer. So it's important. Open-ended questions are like this. Who other than yourself will be involved in making the final decision, right? That's an open-ended question. Who other than yourself will be involved in making the final decision? That's an open-ended question. Any question, ask a question and let the prospect customer give you the answer. That's an open-ended question. Open-ended questions help you to get people to elaborate more. Next, develop the investigative instinct. Listen and observe. Active listening is leaning forward with a focused look in your eye. So if they're talking, lean forward and listen to them. There is a gentleman who is the #1 Cadillac salesperson in the country. I won't tell you his name. He's in California. And he has one of his eyes is weaker than the other. So he focuses on you with one eye. He focuses on one eye. It's pretty crazy, but try this sometime. Just look at a person's one eye, and they don't know if you're looking at both eyes when you're listening. But it lets you focus on a person more. So leaning forward with a focused look in your eye. Next, jotting down notes about what you're thinking. That shows that you're focusing and listening. Nodding in agreement, interjecting comments. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, right. I agree. Absolutely. That shows you're paying attention. Asking for clarification. I'm curious. The person says, Omar, I think it costs too much. You say, Bill, it costs too much? Mary, it costs too much? Today, most things do. Can you tell me about how much too much you feel it is? Right? Repeating back important points in review. I just did it. It costs too much? Today, most things do. Can you tell me about how much too much you feel it is? So that's a good thing there. Now, next, objections. How do you handle objections? You ready? I want you to take the 5 objections that you get and write down answers. And write down the 5, for those 5 objections, write down answers like, I want to think it over. It costs too much. I need to sleep on it. I can get it cheaper somewhere else, right? Someone says to me, it costs too much. I say, Bill, Mary, today most things do. Can you tell me about how much too much? Or they say, I want to think it over. That's fine, Mr. Johnson. Obviously, you wouldn't take your time thinking this thing over unless you were seriously interested, would you? I mean, I'm sure you're not telling me that just to get rid of me. So may I assume you will give it careful consideration? Just to clarify my thinking, what phase of this opportunity do you want to think over? Is the quality of service I'll render? No, Omar, you've been great. Is it something I've forgotten to cover? No. Please level with me. Could your objection be, or your concern be money? Would it be money? Omar, it costs too much. Bill, Mary, today most things do. Can you tell me about how much too much you feel it is? Well, Omar, I think the house is $10,000 too much. Let's take that $10,000 and break it into proper perspective. You'll live here how many years? Oh, Omar, we're going to live here the rest of our lives. Really? Well, we all know that most people live in their home 3 to 5 years on average. So you say, well, let's take 5 years. Let's take that $10,000 and break it into proper perspective. And if you break that 10 grand into 5 years, you're talking about, a little less than $2,000 a year. And if you break it down to weeks, you're breaking it down to pop, pop, pop. And I know months, weeks, I hate to make it ridiculous, but if you break it down to daily amount, you're talking about like $3.50 a day. Bill, Mary, are you willing to give up the home of your dreams for $3.50 a day? I've seen people punch each other. What are you, crazy? Give up that Starbucks, whatever, right? So what are objections? Objections are statements from customers who want or need to know more information about you, your company, your product or service. Don't take it personal. Get the you out of failure. Don't take it personal. This is when true selling begins. All right. Now, if you haven't done everything right up to this point, you're going to not sell them. You got to do all 7 steps that I'm teaching you. All right. Before. So let's talk about closing the sale. Closing the sale. The definition of closing: professionally using a person's desire to own the benefits of your product or service, then blending your sincere desire to serve in helping that person make a decision that will be good for him or her. I can't tell you how many times when I started out in business, someone had to nudge me a little bit to buy a little more home than I thought I could afford. And after I did it, it's so funny. I used to tell Bob Proctor, I can't believe I was so, I'm like, Bob, I'm so nervous about this house. I'm putting $400,000 down and I'm still going to owe money and my payment is double my rent. And he said, Omar, the law of attraction, watch, buy the house. I promise you, when you buy the house, unseen forces will come in that will help you make more money. And you would have said to yourself 3 months from now, I should have bought a bigger house. And he was right. I couldn't believe it. I bought the house. And then all of a sudden, I go from one health club that presents to me that someone's closing down 2 more health clubs, then 10 more health clubs. So now I've got 18 health clubs, 28 health clubs. And I'm like, I could have bought another house. So I bought 12 houses. And I would move in, fix it up, rent it, move in, fix it up, rent it. And made a lot of money doing that, let me tell you. So they'll always remember that whatever you're thinking of, you can become more. So the whole key in selling and closing people is the goal is to help them rationalize or justify the decision, right? And every one of you have different products or services. So we want to rationalize or justify the decision. Next, closing is the easiest thing to do if you've done everything right up to this point. Closing is the easiest thing to do if you followed Omar's steps. Number 1, build rapport. Number 2, have an eloquent presentation. Number 3, gather information. Number 4, come back, have the solution. Number 5, handle objections. Number 6, close a sale. And number 7, get referrals. Referrals is the name of the game. So let's get into it. Effective closing helps all parties relate. This is the acronym RELATE. As you guys all know, I love acronyms. So here's the acronym RELATE. Reinforce features and benefits, like from that, remember that thing I created? There was a diamond that we turned into a ball from benefits, features, results. Now you have 5 of them and you build them up and you're ready. You're ready for them, right? Reinforce features and benefits and reinforce solutions. Next, eliminate customers' doubts. Make sure you cover monies, timeframes, budgets, deliveries, expectancies, all these different things, right? Next, leave your customers with a positive feeling about you and your product and service. So make sure that you do the 5 logical reasons to buy, and when they leave, get ready for the enemy agent. The enemy agent is in their mind. The enemy agent is their relatives, their friends, anybody that's going to tell them that they should have done this, and they should have done that, and they should have done this. But, you got to build the emotion and the logic to show them that they made a good decision. Next, acknowledge your customers by hearing them out. Always hear people out. Hear them out, and then feedback, reinforce everything that we're saying about relate. Next, take it to the next level. Have your paperwork there, fill it out, or your form or your credit app, and have them fill it out, get it done, right? Next, evaluate and adjust your closing depending on the customer's response and behavior, all right? Now, the razor's edge. The line that separates winning from losing is as fine as the razor's edge. Dennis Waitley said, winners make it happen, losers let it happen. Your ability to take action and be accountable and complete cycles is one of the most important things that you will learn from me. I am here because I am a person that completes cycles. I get things done. I complete cycles every day, whether it's taking my dry cleaning in or whatever it is. I'd rather get a no than have somebody out there saying, oh yeah, I'm interested in your product or service, and I'll get with you next week. And then you talk to them next week. Oh yeah, no, talk to me in like 3 months. Oh yeah. So look, Bill, if you don't want to join the health club, just tell me. I'm good with it. Just tell me if you want or not so I can move on. Oh, okay. Well, no, I don't have the money right now. Great. Thank you very much. Next. It's over. Get over it. If it doesn't serve you, don't say it. Don't own it. Next. That's it. Move on, guys. If something doesn't work out, move on. Learn something from it, right? Make sure that you learn something from it. Make sure that you gather something from it, right? Remember, nobody's perfect. Nobody, everybody has stuff. We all have stuff. And the key is to take our stuff, handle it, and then put it in a box. If you have a problem, when you're in it, handle it, and then put it aside so you can go out and make sales, pick up customers, and build your business. If you keep too many people, when they have a problem, they dwell on the problem. 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 What do now? They get overwhelmed and they can't move. They're immobilized. And that's terrible. We don't want that. All right? You're merely a decision away from real wealth and financial dependence. Guys, I wanted all of you have my package. Some of you are in my mentor program. I wanted to offer a package that's normally $49,000. And if you're interested, set up a meeting with me to talk to me. And the foundation for success and for key to becoming wealthy, so work harder on yourself than you do on your dreams. And the fastest way to grow and learn is my accelerated wealth systems. This is the next step for you guys. Private mentoring with me, one-on-one mentoring. I'm looking for 2 people. I can't take more than 2 people. Private mentoring, one-on-one mentoring. And the key is, are you willing to invest in yourself? It's a fraction of what my colleagues charge. Are you willing to invest in your future? Success is a moment, make every moment count. I am the mentor's mentor. I've mentored people that are out mentoring people right now. So this package includes Elite Master. You get this is called the 90-day challenge. It's 3 months with me. Write your master success life plan. We will do that. You're going to life skills, project planning, when lay out your goals, your project, personal and business. You and I will assess where you are in relation to where you want to go, whether you're a speaker, a mentor, a coach, a salesperson, you own a company, you're starting a company, you want to sell a company, whatever it is. Tell me what you want. I'll show you how to get it. Next, street smart strategies to get in. We will meet weekly and set up strategies for every week. Every week we'll set up strategies. You'll receive another system. There's another system that you don't have that's really great, and it will give you that also. Accountability, you have 12 lessons with me. Yeah, 12 lessons with me. Elite sessions with me, one-on-one, every week for 1 hour on Zoom. If you live in Boca, I'll meet you face-to-face. There's only one person I meet every week, and that's Tina, who's on the call. Next, access to mentoring webinars for 1 year, like this one. We have those. And then monthly mentoring webinars for a year, which we have. And then membership for Lease Mastermind Group, which I do twice a year. I will be doing one the first quarter in February. And all that is $49,373. But for the first 2 people that take action now, email me or sign up on the website or email me. I'll give you the email. You can either do omarperiu@gmail.com or info@omarperiu.com. Here it is. It's normally, look guys, it's 49,000. I'm doing it for 2 people for 14,997 for 90 days. That's it. 90 days, 3 months would be 15K, 14,997. We take credit cards, we take checks, and good-looking Rolexes. I'm kidding. It's not making that. All right, so here we go. One-on-one mentoring with Omar, with Omar Periu. Just either go to info@omarperiu.com or just email me, omarperiu@gmail.com. So take action now. That's what I talk about. That's what I'm all about. So what I'd like to do is, EB, shut it out, and then let's take some questions.